Alright, hello my lovelies and welcome. And I do admit that this is at an odd time of day, so if I have missed you for this particular live stream and you're watching the playback, I am so sorry I missed you, but you are welcome to be here. Glad you decided to join me, even if it's not for the live version. Let's see. A lot of things have happened recently since my last live stream. I'm actually in my own space, so the Wi-Fi signal should hold. We should not have any streaming issues like I did last time. Other than that, please note also for my deck strength versus weakness series, that closes tomorrow on the 30th of September. So by the end of the day, I will close that poll, and we will have our winner for the deck of the month. So if you haven't voted, go ahead and go vote. And as always, with my weekly live streams, we are going to be going through the Zodiac signs. This is for your sun, moon, and rising. We're going to see what's going on. The deck I am using is the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reed. My ancestors have asked to use uprights only this week, so even if a card comes out in the reverse, I will flip it to the upright position, just FYI. And now that I've taken a drink, we can actually get started. And as always, we're going to start with Aries. And I know I cut these earlier, but I'm going to cut them again, just because. Alright, so what's going on for my Aries placements? And of course, this is for October 1st through October 7th. Hard to believe it's October already. Alright, there's the rest. I usually try to keep it to 3 cards. That doesn't always happen, of course. We have Magical Map Shifter, Protecting Treasure, Intention. Ooh, Wishing Well, and Spark. Yeah! Sounds like we have some things going down for Aries placements this week. We're actually seeking and looking at things that we can utilize and expand on, untapped potentials, harnessing that and trying to manifest and put things out into the world. So, since that energy is clearly available for you, if you have a Aries sun, moon, or rising, I would definitely go out of my way to write a list of the things you would like to achieve, wish to achieve, dream to achieve, and set on trying to manifest those this week. You definitely have not only the potential, but the intention and the focus, the concentration to make those wishes a reality, to put forth plenty of energy towards those. I just feel like this, I know there's 5 cards here, but I just feel like just the Magician card should be here in place of it. Oh. Huh. Okay, because we have the Wishing Well. They're bringing me back to this. We have the Dandelion on this card and the Owl's Mouth. So, yes, make a wish. We always used to do that as a kid. You pick the dandelions that had ceased to be a flower and went to seed. You pick them up, make a wish, and then blow all the little seeds off. And you had to do it all in one breath. That was always the thing, was your lungs big enough to blow all the seeds off the stem in one breath? Kind of like blowing out all your birthday candles on the cake in one breath. Alright, if I can pick up the cards. We're going to move right on to Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay. That's interesting. We have listening, talisman coming to life, and stormfields. Okay. So if you're paying attention, if you're really seeing and reading between the lines, you'll realize that perhaps you already have an experience in a certain area that is going to be potentially useful to you, whether that's a mistake, a lesson. You've had experience in some area, or you're going to know somebody who's had experience in a specific area, and that is something to harness, to utilize, to take that knowledge forth. That way, circumstances aren't quite as devastating. They're not quite as scary. They're not quite as intimidating. Because believe it or not, when we encounter lessons, even if they are not ours, we can still potentially hear it, learn from it, and apply it. Granted, that takes an open mind. Yes, we have to hear why that was a lesson, what the consequences were, what the effects were, why it should or shouldn't be done. So you might end up getting like a random bit of information that is useful, and it might actually need to be applied in your life. Perhaps you need advice on a certain experience that you are currently in, and you encounter somebody that's had the same experience. So using their knowledge and applying it to your own life makes navigating things probably not as hectic. Whereas if you had been going into the situation on your own without that knowledge, without having learned from somebody else's mistakes, it would have been harsher. Knowledge is power. Okay, yeah, and they're bringing me to the energy she has in her hand in this card. And it's interesting because we have a butterfly and everything else in this card, but it's the energy in her hand that they're pointing out to me. Okay. That's interesting. I'm going to move right on to Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Whoa! Okay. I don't know if these are upright or reverse, but they're all going upright because we're not taking reverse. One Ring Circus, Ride the Wave, Home, Commitment, Solitude, and Rock Bottom. Oofta. Okay. That's a bit heavy. Okay. I will be quite frank, quite honest about this. This feels a little messy. This feels a little messy. This feels like maybe there's been chaos and drama, and maybe even for some of you, a rocky relationship that you've just been having to go with the energy to really trying really hard to make it work. And some of that is maybe giving and bending when you shouldn't. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to remember the commitments that you make to yourself. I'm highlighting the commitment card. And what you truly need. Whether that is a person in your life, a person out of your life. A boundary being right here or right here. Whether that is you also needing to prioritize yourself first, of having better self-care and putting yourself above others instead of others before you. And you might be questioning that towards the end of the week. You might have to sit with that energy and realize where that is actually maybe not the best for you, and why things aren't quite getting better in certain aspects. And it's because you're just navigating the chaos. You're just trying to keep your head above water. And what you really need to do is hash a couple things out and prioritize what's important and what's not, and stick to it. Like I said, this feels a little messy. Kind of feels like maybe you're, and some aspect of your life is getting bounced around quite a bit here lately. And it's getting to the point where you're going to realize that something needs to change because it's not working. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes everything's are kosher, and sometimes everything's a struggle. And you're going to have a moment of reflection where you just go inward and realize what's important, what's not important, what is beneficial, what is not beneficial, and how does everything make you feel. Because there's a need for improvement. Alright, and that was for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Here, let me grab a drink real quick. And we'll move right on to Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements. And hello to anyone who has joined me in the chat. You are most welcome. We are doing your weekly Zodiac readings for the 1st of October to the 7th of October. We are using the Enchanted Map. We're taking uprights only. And this is for your Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements. And speaking of rock bottom, it has come right back out. We have rock bottom, compass, and moonlight. Okay. So where Gemini felt messy and needed a time to reflect, it seems like Cancer placements are getting serious this week. Because you're diving right into the kerfuffle. You're basically trying to climb out of something, and you know there's got to be a better direction, so you're staring right at it. So props to you for realizing that you can't stay where you are. Things need to change. And not being afraid to look it dead in the eye and wanting to find something better, needing to find something better, and basically telling it to F off and going for it. Okay. Well, apparently today's the day of highlighting things in the cards, because we have this owl right here on the moonlight card. Knowledge, wisdom. I mean, it is a bird, so there is, I guess, movement. But figuring out what you know and what you don't know. Using what you know currently, both good and bad, can help you navigate where you need to move. Whether that is sideways, around, up, down. But I get the feeling they're trying to point out, don't be afraid to move. You know, don't get stuck. Okay, and they want this card again, because it has, I guess you would call it like almost a hurricane on the moon. It's this little eye hole with a spiral of clouds. There is a point of illumination. Things can sometimes be dark. There might be a dark spot, the rock bottom in your life. But there is light, there is joy, there is happiness, there is illumination to be had. Don't fear it. Okay, and that was for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to move right on to Leo placements, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And that probably fell out of frame, but we have Coming to Life, Storm Fields, Moonlight, Compass, and Spark. Okay. As much as Leo placements are all about creativity, passion, motivation, it is a masculine sign. It does have that urge to move. Anything that you try to execute, enjoy this week, please be aware that there might be a couple obstacles that you need to navigate. So don't give up automatically. Don't let things pass you by. There is a viable way around whatever issues crop up, whatever your endeavor is. Whether that is simply going out for a night on the town, perhaps somebody cancels and y'all wonder if you can still go out, or perhaps the place that you were going to go closes. Well, you can always look for somewhere else to go that might be better. You know, there is a viable option. There is a way to work around the problem. You just have to think it through, examine it, look at it, probably recenter yourself, and find that. And yes, that might require a creative approach. So this is a need to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more adaptable when you come across problems, when you come across obstacles this week. The creativity will find a way, especially when you are happy and excited and so joyful for something. Like I said, perhaps you're trying to go out with friends. Perhaps you're doing a do-it-yourself project and you're happy about it, but the instructions that you got on a tutorial are not up to par, and you have to kind of improvise. However this resonates for you, there's actually a way around it. You just have to figure it out for a minute. And since I'm also a Leo rising, I find that exceedingly interesting. It's always great when you're told there's a workaround, there's a shortcut, there's something else that's useful. Alright, and we're going to move right on to Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements. Okay. That is interesting. They gave us a whole chunk. There's like 10 cards here. We have One Ring Circus, Ride the Wave, Solitude, Magic Prayer, Wizard of Awareness, Home, Commitment, Rock Bottom, Magic Stream, and Bone Collector. Wow. Okay, Virgo. Virgos, no matter what placement it is, most of you guys are fairly level-headed. You mostly have your stuff together. You're pretty organized. You're pretty well attuned to your surroundings. And it seems like here lately you're juggling a lot. You've got a lot of things going on, and you might find that stressful here lately. You might find it slightly difficult. You might need a moment to just put things on pause. And I get the feeling that maybe you're wishing for things to either be a little bit more calm or a little bit easier. And it seems like you're I get all like hermit energy right in here. It seems like with that wish, that desire, you're kind of just tuning in and seeing how best to do that, how things can maybe be simplified. That doesn't feel quite like the right word that they're wanting. Tuning in and assessing how you're prioritizing, what you're committing to, or what you're over-committing to. Because it seems like right now, the stress and the moving pieces of it all are kind of taking their toll on you. But I love the fact that we have the Magic Stream and the Bone Collector at the end, because despite everything being hectic and all over the place, and yes, probably being stressful and taking its toll on you, whether that is a toll on your time, a toll on you mentally, emotionally, physically, you have your connection to Source. You have everything you need. You just need to be more aware of it. Hence why I got the awareness, the hermit energy, the assessing energy. There's an answer already there for you. You may be wishing and hoping and praying something else happens or doesn't happen to make things simpler, to make it easier. So you're wanting outside help, intervention. But the thing of it is you already have everything you need. It's like the Nine of Pentacles is sitting over here. So the answer that you are asking for, you already have it. So if you are overcommitting yourself to things, and that's stressful and it's taking its toll on you, and you're wishing that, you got more sleep, you wish that you had more hours in the day, you wish somebody else would do this for you, you are already able to solve this. You really just have to take this Solitude, Magic Prayer, and Wizard of Awareness to sit with it for a second. Sit with the problem. Sit with the issue. and become aware of that solution. It's waiting, like, right out of you. You're not looking right at it, but it's there. So a little bit of something to discover this week. An answer that you already have but are unaware of. And with that, we're going to move right on to Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh my gosh. Some of these I'm getting a few cards, and some of them I'm getting a lot. We have Flying, Stuck in the Mud, Rescue, Movement. Okay, this seems like an oxymoron here. Balancing Act. Haha, because this is for the Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Slow and Steady, Goblins, and Spirit of Place. Okay. Stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. Red light, green light, red light, green light. That's what this feels like. Okay, so we for Libras this week may not be quite so balanced. You may not be embodying that traditional scales energy. Hence why we have the balancing act, and I found that funny after all the stop-go energy. So as much as you would like to see great movement, great progress this week, it's not going to resolve itself easily. In fact, you might need to accept help from others in order to see movement. In other words, 2 heads are better than 1. 4 hands are better than 2. So you might need the extra set of legs, the extra set of hands this week in order to tackle things and get things moving. Perhaps there is an unresolved issue or problem that you're not seeing, but having that second pair of eyes actually brings balance to the situation because that person sees the problem. They see where the issue is. It's almost kind of like in order to go forward, you have to identify where you're being halted and you've got a blind spot. So instead of being able to approach things in an unbiased manner and with a wide scope vision, you're embodying this narrow-minded view, or you have experiences or things that are keeping you unfocused on it. Whereas this lovely rescue card says there's help at hand that can see it, that can offer that insight, which will allow you to move. It could be so simple as you have a work issue, and because you read whole words and not individual letters, there's a typo and you don't see the typo and things keep coming back as wrong, but it takes the second pair of eyes to say, hey, this is misspelled, and that's the reason why it won't go through. That's definitely interesting. And for those that are, Sun, Moon, and Rising Libras, if you're a student, since I somewhat brought up words and misspellings, if you're a student, please doubly be aware, since that awesome example popped out. Just, FYI. Alright, and we're going to move on to Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements. We have movement and rescue coming out. Feel the ouch, details, details, and encouragement. Hold on just a sec. I need to grab my drink. Okay. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I kind of feel like this is maybe not you. I feel like this is you in order to move on, to progress, need to lend a helping hand to somebody that's actually having an issue. And it's because you see the details. You notice something that they don't. Perhaps a coworker is holding up your workplace. Perhaps everything comes to a screeching halt when you really need to get a move on to get things done. But they're having, say, a personal issue. And you know something to offer, some advice that will help them pull out of their funk so you guys can get back to work. You might be having a little bit of a pep talk, a little bonding moment, as it were, with somebody else this week. A little bit of empathy. And for those of you that resonate with this being you, because it can be you, you might have to accept help. You might have to accept some criticism from somebody else, simply because in order to grow, in order to move, sometimes we have to take advice, whether that's solicited or unsolicited from others, when it's meant to make us more whole, more complete, and to push us in the right direction. Believe it or not, a lot of us take constructive criticism as negative criticism, when sometimes it's just somebody who realizes we need help, and sometimes we need a boost because we don't know certain things or lack experience in certain things, and sometimes we just need a little bit of a push. And a little bit of, yeah, you can do it, in order to tackle some certain things. Okay. We'll move right along to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and I do apologize for my swiftness, but I'm trying not to stick on every single sign for 20 minutes. We have Metamorphosis, Peaks of Joy. What's going on for my Sags? Unexpected visitors, encouragement. Okay. Well, right off the bat, I'm getting attracted to all these flowers that are in this Metamorphosis card. So, flowers, beauty. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the changes that's showing up here for you isn't a change in physical appearance. Maybe you got a new haircut. Maybe you tried, a new nail polish color. Maybe you bought a new outfit. And you feel really good about that. A little boost to the self-confidence. You're in that feel-good vibe with how you look. And surprisingly enough, it feels like this might be a stranger that you encounter that gives you a compliment. Perhaps for some of you, you've tried like a new diet, or you've recently lost weight, so you've bought new clothes that fit better. So you feel good about yourself, you're healthier, and a stranger randomly gives you a compliment about how good you look. You know, they like your lipstick. They like those shoes. They think you look fantastic. Or maybe somebody literally will ask you out on a date. Seems random, but an interesting offhanded thing from a stranger. I will also say this could possibly be a friend that you haven't seen in a long time that unexpectedly shows up. I love it when feel-good moments come through. Alright, we move right on to Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And whoa! Okay, we have Ghostlands. Compass. Moonlight. Oh gosh. What is up with assessment this week? Compass and Moonlight seem to be popular. And I will, for those of you that don't know me, I have a Capricorn moon, so this includes me in this particular placement. You might feel a little lost for a second at some point this week, to where you have to stop, drop everything, figure out what direction you're going in. You might be questioning if you're actually going in the right direction. And to avoid going in the wrong direction, you stop. You reassess everything. Make sure you're going in the right direction. Because you need to make sure that you're headed there correctly. Or if you've made a wrong turn somewhere. Literally, if that's physically you driving. Or perhaps you made a choice and now you're questioning that choice. Questioning the judgment to see whether or not if it was correct. Because sometimes we can't always be sure, and that requires us to stand still long enough to go, is this right or is this wrong? So this compass might be a literal moral dilemma. Whether that is something that you chose, you interacted with, or perhaps somebody you are around does something questionable, so you stop and assess whether or not you would like to join or you would like to exit. Oh, they're doing this. Wait, they're doing this. Is that acceptable? Not acceptable. Should I go for it? Should I not go for it? I see this is basically you stopping for a big question mark. Do I go left? Do I go right? Oh boy. Interesting. Very interesting. We're going to move right on to Aquarius, and we're almost done. We have 2 signs left, believe it or not. So Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see what's going on for you for the first week of October. Whoa. Okay, and we have intention, flying, come together, ghostland, stuck in the mud, and moonlight. Okay. I feel like this is plans coming together for Aquarius. You've had the intention to do something. You've laid the plans for a while. It's like you've been stuck on hold until the right moment for those plans to literally be put in action, for you to do something with them, and now they're all falling in place. Things are falling together, coming together this week. So your best laid intentions, it didn't go right off into, hit the ground running when you made them. So there was a bit of a delay, and now they're coming together. Things are working out. Something about timing. So perhaps you literally intended to move, but couldn't find the right apartment. But now everything that you wanted, the right area, the right price, everything's now coming together. You can move. You can do that now. And hello to those that are joining me in the chat. We are doing your zodiac signs. Sun, Moon, and a Rising for the week of October 1st through the 7th. We're using the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reed. And I've been instructed by my ancestors to take uprights only. So if you see me flip over a card from reverse to upright, that is why. And we are at Pisces. So let's see what's going on with Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising this week. Sad Embrace. Coming apart. Uh-oh. Sacred Pool. And Follow the Leader. My poor Pisces. I feel like I should offer you a hug. Seems like things are not all bright and cheery this week for you, and I'm so sorry for that. However, what you can't see is that some things are really meant to be. Some things literally have to be cut out, removed, for things to move forward as they're meant to. And I know we don't always see the wider view. Instead, we mourn things because we feel like we've been left out, we've been denied things, and not having the full scope, we don't realize that we're called to move on, to go in a certain direction. We can be stalemated and hold on to a certain energy, a person, attachment, a situation, and regret or deny that maybe it wasn't the best for us. So if things start to unravel, if you have a tower moment this week for all my Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please pay closer attention to the moving pieces. Because it seems like certain things are falling apart, that you're having a little bit of a tower moment this week, simply so you can be redirected where you actually need to go. You might be being nudged in a certain direction, but you can't see that because you're mourning what you've lost. You're still holding on to something instead. And this is actually the first time they've done this so far this week. They're drawing me to the number 46. Which 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 is usually an ending, which also brings a new beginning. It's a completion of a cycle. It's also the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. So yes, you feel down, you might feel cheated, but things are actually on the rise, and you can't see that. You can't see that wheel spinning. You're not aware of the shift, the change. And of course, always with the Wheel of Fortune, it's best to be in the center of that wheel rather than on the outskirts, on the edges, riding it up and down. To be in the center, to be balanced is best, because then you remain unaffected to the extreme highs and the extreme lows. And that's ideally where you need to be this week. Alright, my lovelies. And I apologize for my dog. I'm actually expecting a delivery, so he's probably going to go nuts if that's the delivery man outside the door. Alright, my lovelies, I do have all the Zodiac, Sun, Moon, and Rising out. Once again, this was for October 1st through the 7th. Hopefully you found some of this informative for you. Also, a reminder, I do have the poll still currently open for October's Deck Strength versus Weakness series. If you have not voted, you only have one more day to vote. At the end of the day tomorrow on September 30th, that poll will close. So if you would like to help establish which deck I will be featuring for that series, please go vote. You can find that in my community tab. I do believe it is 2 posts back in order to find it and utilize that poll. And thank you so much for joining me, or if you guys missed me in the live stream and are watching after the fact, that is totally acceptable. I'm sorry I missed you for the live stream. I know it's at an odd time, especially for the East Coast people. But thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next week. Bye.